Do you ever feel stuck in the rat race? Life doesn't have to be that way if you're willing to put in the work. In Bigger Vision, Chris Garrison helps you discover the keys to abundance, freedom, and personal growth that let you live the life of your dreams. And now, here's your host, Chris Garrison.
Welcome, everybody. You made it to the Bigger Vision podcast. I appreciate you guys taking your time out of your day and feeding your mind, feeding your spirit, feeding your desire, your ambition, because that's what it's all about. I just got back from an event last week. Wow, is all I can say. So Mark Evans DM stands for the deal maker. He is an incredible person, and he throws these birthday bashes. Did it, I think his last one was 2019. And then when COVID hit, he didn't do it for 2 years till all that cleared up. So this was his first one back. And there was somewhere around 300 individuals that attended. He had this amazing lineup of speakers. So it was 2 days of speakers. The first night, there was a dinner that was an extra. I'm in his mastermind group, so I don't exactly know how he got in on the dinner, but there was additional tickets sold for the dinner, which all these are qualifiers. If you go to an event and someone says, okay, you can get the VIP room or the VIP seating, they're just qualifiers. It's not that getting closer to the speaker and hearing what they're going to say or them actually identifying you out of the crowd. That's not the case. It's who you're sitting by. It's the conversations that you're going to be able to have with that person beside you, the exchange of information so that future business and opportunities come up. And that's what most people miss out in understanding about these upgrades. They're nothing but qualifiers to make sure that you're getting by the people that are serious about doing business, about bettering themselves, about increasing and having self-improvement, increasing their mindset, increasing their belief system. And when you're on the same track at that same level of playing, things just happen faster. And so they're qualifiers. Just remember that the next time you have the opportunity and you're like, they're just trying to make a bunch of money. It's really not what's going on. They're giving you an opportunity to make much more money because they've already put a qualifier on the people that you're going to be in close proximity to. So we were at the dinner the first night, really good table. We had, I think, somewhere around 8 people sitting at the table. So I got to know 8 more people and kind of hear their lifestyle and what they were doing and what was being successful and where their troubles were. And then the second day, we had another great lineup of speakers. They had some panelists, meaning there was 4 or 5 folks on the stage, and they were able to sit there and kind of communicate about a certain topic. And then it opened up for question and answer. And then we went to this birthday bash. It was tuxedo. It was a James Bond theme, and it was in a charity event. That's so cool. That's what he does for his birthdays is he just hosts a charity event, but he leads it up with also content to help you on your mindset, on your business, on your investing skill sets. And we're at this birthday bash at this private venue. They've got ice sculptures. They've got the women walking on stilts. They were, again, trying to do the James Bond theme. Everybody's decked to the hilt. You got your men in tuxedos, your women in red dresses. And they've got this table full of art where these artists had donated this art for this charity. Well, the second day of the event, we were able to hear from a representative on the Operation Underground Railroad. This is a charity that fights against human sex trafficking. And the statistics were alarming, especially for the U.S. and how we are actually the global leader in the negative side of sex trafficking. The U.S. does the most. It's just insane. They were talking about how their efforts to pull these people out of those situations, but not only that, all of the back end work. What is the housing, the counseling, setting them up? So, because this is traumatic. And if they just go back to their house, a lot of those that are sent back home, it was their family members that sold them into this. A lot of detailed thought process, and we got the opportunity to really understand what they were about. And it's an incredible organization. So if you need a place to go put money and to support, I think it's such a great cause. Again, it's going to be Operation Underground Railroad. So they had all these paintings that had been donated and they auctioned them off. And I got to see probably one of the most amazing things happen. Everybody was having a good time. We had the MC was sitting there and he was, I'm going to start this painting off at 10,000. Who's got 10,000? I got 10,000 on my own money. Who's got 11,000? And it would just bump up in these $1,000 and sometimes $5,000, $10,000 increments. These paintings were selling for $25,000, $30,000, $35,000. But you saw these guys raising their hand and they were having fun with it. And these guys had the ability to give this much because of their actions that they had done prior to this event. It's because they desired to have enough in abundance that they would be able to give and make a difference. And so many, I find, they get to a place to where they have abundance for themselves and stop. And they decide just to fuck off the rest of their life. Instead of growing and using their skill sets and their ingenuity and their resourcefulness and absorbing more creativity and knowledge from getting around the right content, the books, the podcast, the audibles, in the events and around the individuals, paying the VIP price to get on the upper seating so that you can get beside the guy that's over here doing multi-millions. I mean, I was sitting around guys that sold a $32 million company. He was one of the speakers. I spoke to him at the party. And you know what? I was telling him about a situation I had, and he looked at me dead in the eyes and said, "It's you. You're the problem." He said, "You need to fix this right here. You need to fix you in this place, and then that right there will take care of itself." And these individuals that get in these rooms that can afford to pay $30,000, $35,000 for a painting and knowing it's going straight to charity, they're incredible individuals, not because of the money that they have, but because of the risk that they took to go after their dreams, because of the discipline that they implemented in their life, because of the dreaming that they allowed themselves to do, and then they put action behind it. So many people stop in their tracks and only talk about what they wish they had and what they want, but they never put the action in place. I don't know if it's some is probably just they're waiting for the perfect scenario, and it's never perfect. If you ask any of these entrepreneurs, any of these highly successful people, even the ones that have gone through the 8 and 10 years of college and got in a profession in that manner, when they first walked onto those jobs, they didn't have it all in the understanding. All they had was book knowledge and classroom training. When an entrepreneur has a dream and he goes out and he starts absorbing some information to understand how to take the first step, he doesn't know what the next 100 yards is going to look like stepping. He just knows what the next step is, and he or she takes the step and moves forward. See, we've got to start moving forward because you're going to miss out on opportunities like being able to change someone's life by giving to an organization that devotes their time to saving lives. If those individuals that raised their hand and was able to pay $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, $35,000 or more for paintings so that they could support a charity, and the paintings didn't even matter. Yeah, it's a nice piece of artwork and it's going to be a memento for that moment in their life where they were able to help a great cause. But if they had not put the preparation in before that event, they would have sat on the sidelines and watched everybody else be able to give. And that's what I did in my 20s. I didn't put the work in my 20s. I didn't start putting the work in until I turned 30. That's when I really began to absorb the right content. I really began to put myself in the influence underneath the words of people that were doing amazing things in life, that were growing, underneath the direction. And I listened and I watched and I began to speak the way they spoke because I wanted the same things that they had. They had success. They seemed to be happy in life. They seem to have options. They seem to have opportunity because they always gave it their all. They gave it their best. They had self-reflection and they paid attention to what was good, what they were great at, and what they weren't so great at. They understood that sharing was better, and what they weren't great at, they gave opportunity to others. They expanded their team so that it was for the greater good of their cause, of where they were trying to get. The individuals that take action, those are the ones that have the opportunity to really change lives. And if you've been sitting in that position to where you have just made the excuses of, well, I don't know how to do this and I don't know where to go. And if I had this money, or if I had access to this mentor, or if I could pay, if I had enough money, if I had a better job where I could have enough money to afford to go and be a part of this mastermind, all of those are excuses. Every single one of them. You've got to start taking full responsibility for everything that's in your life, because you're giving too much control away to someone else. And you're missing out on opportunity that's coming down the pipeline because you're not making the decisions to take action today. Success doesn't happen overnight. Success is what you see after years of preparation. That's just the way it works. You don't get in the gym and walk out. You don't walk into the gym skinny and walk out yoked and buff and all beefed up. You don't walk in fat and walk out after one session all fit and toned. It doesn't happen that way anywhere in life, and the gym is the best way to show you an example of it. So what are you going to do today to change your situation? What action are you going to take? If you're sitting there and you're the secretary, if you're the factory line worker, if you're the trash guy riding on the back of the truck, what are you doing to better yourself? And what actions are you taking to push yourself forward? When you get hungry enough, and it's a non-negotiable to change your life, to change your direction of life, financially, mentally, relationally, spiritually, physically, when it is a non-negotiable, then that is when you start to take actions and resourcefulness kicks in. Because no longer is it, well, I didn't have whatever, or I didn't know. It's, how do I get? How do I find? Who can tell me? There is a urgency in your hunger for growth, in your hunger for success. That's the differentiator between those that just sit and those that climb the mountain. It's a non-negotiable. They have to know what's at the top of the mountain. They have to know what's on the other side of the mountain. They would die of depression if they sat at the bottom of the mountain. And if you're going to fight the death and depression, why not fight to get up the stinking mountain so that you can actually enjoy the view at the top of the mountain and see what is on the other side? Both of them's a fight. You just got to choose what fight you're taking. Are you taking the fight of sitting in mediocrity and sitting in just enough? Or are you going to fight to get yourself into a place of abundance? A place of abundance that's past you, that's bigger than you, so that you can really see abundance and change others' lives. You may not even understand what that means. You're like, why? I just want to take care of myself. Why would I even care about changing other lives? Go give something today. Give something away that wasn't easy to give, and watch it change someone else, make their day happier, get them out of a bind. And that feeling that you get, that's exactly why you want to have an abundance more than just what is abundance for yourself only. Because when you have abundance past what you think abundance is for you to live and do whatever you want to do in any manner that you want to do it, when you've got over an abundance of that, then that's when you pour out, because your pitcher's full, your cup is full, and it's just going to overflow. And you're going to discover the power and the fulfillment of giving. And I challenge you to start discovering that now. That's something that Mark Evans, DM, my mentor, he sits there and presses on us. He's like, work your giving muscle. If the first number comes to your head, don't sit there and work it down. You act on that first number, because that was the number you were supposed to give. Stretch yourself. Stretch yourself. This is what it's about. If you're sitting in your comfort zone, there is no growth happening, and you're missing out on the world. You're missing out on so much. I have seen my life transform just because I started taking action, not knowing how to even go about it fully. But in the process, in the path of walking, I'm just taking content in as much as possible. Guys, I was broke. In my 20s, I had an EBT card. I couldn't even afford food. I had to let the government buy my food. There was times where I literally rolled into a gas station on fumes trying to get to my mother-in-law's house. And I had to walk into the gas station, as humiliating as it was, and ask if I could get $5 off of someone. There was 3 people in the gas station somewhere around 10 o'clock at night. I was only a 15-minute drive away from the house at this point, and nobody would give me the $5. It's a humbling place to be in when you're in need right there. And I walked out of that gas station and I decided I would never be in that place of need again. And I actually sat in that place of need for a couple of more years. Oh, it's probably about a year. Those instances change your life. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, are you going to sit in the hard of not having enough and always being in a place of need? Or are you going to sit in the hard of pushing for growth and finding your abundance? Because it's the same effort, but much different results. So what are you wanting to do in life? Don't just say money. It's going to, and that's okay if that's what you say. If you say, I just want a lot of money, it's okay for you to want a lot of money. I give you permission to say that. I was in the same place. I still have that level of, I want a bunch of money. Why? Because money buys me opportunity. Money buys me freedom. Money buys me access to whatever I want access to. I've heard it said revenue solves all problems. Guys, something breaks down, you pull the checkbook out, you can get whatever you need fixed. The only thing that money can't buy is life. And before long, with the way technology's going, there's going to be a way to prolong life with the right amount of money. I mean, the science, technology advances are so rapid. I mean, they're already growing limbs and whatnot from the science that's been put in place. It's just go after something. Just stop making excuses and go after something. So here's some takeaways. Here's the takeaways from the event. Eyeballs is currency. So you need to be letting people know who you are and what you do. Y'all have heard me say this before, and if you're not doing it, then you're missing out on currency. If you want to expedite your goals and achieving them, remember eyeballs is currency. Tell people what you're doing. Get on social media and post what you were doing. Take a video so people can get the feel of what you sound like, how you move, how you act. Because when people are familiar with you, then they will begin to respond to you because no longer is there this fear of unknown, okay? Not knowing who you are and how, and will they like you? Will they like your personality? You're telling them what you do as you do it. I've heard the best comment came from, Lord have mercy, Dropping Bombs podcast guy, Bradley. And he said, your life is the content. So just film what you're doing because people are going to connect. If you're out there playing with your dog, then there's folks out there with dogs that's going to connect with you. If you're going to the gym, there's people that go to the gym. Talk about, hey, I go to the gym. Man, I didn't want to get up this morning, but I went and I feel so much better. You know, I've been working on my chest, trying to build my chest or my shoulders or squats. Man, here's the routine I've been doing, lunges and squats and deadlifts, and I'm finding that this is working for me. Communicate with people. Here's the other takeaway. Communication brings sales. Communication brings revenue. If you're not communicating, there's no sales happening because people buy from people that they communicate with. All right, another is you got to 20x yourself to 10x your business. That's why it's so important. That's why I spend so much money on self-development. That's why I pay to get in these rooms because I want to be around these guys with deep pockets because they think differently than the folks that are barely getting by and going paycheck to paycheck. They respond differently. They've got a bigger belief system. They believe that they can have the yachts, the private planes, whatever jewelry and clothes. They believe that they can afford to pay $30,000 to help a charity and receive a piece of artwork back. They believe that they can just make straight donations because they believe they're going to make the money again. The belief system's different, and I want to know how they're getting there. I want to know what vehicle they're in where they're making their money. That's why I tell you guys what I'm doing to make my money, because as I learn these other vehicles, I want to make sure that my crowd, my tribe is jumping into the same vehicle so that we can arrive at our destination at the same time. Because I don't want to be there by myself, because I don't like to be lonely. I like to have people around me that I can party with, that I can enjoy life with, because life was meant to be enjoyed. Life was not meant to be a hardship your entire life. If your life is a hardship your entire life, it's because you're not making the right choices. You might say, well, I got stuck with family and sick relatives and they didn't have anybody. You still made a choice to put yourself in that position, okay? We've got to remember that we have full responsibility of our life because we've got full opportunity to make whatever choice we want. We live in America. We're given the ability to make the choices we want. Nobody's got a gun to our head, okay? So that is why it's so important to remember everything that is in your life is because you chose to have it in there. And if you don't like it, you need to choose to remove it. You need to choose to make some different choices so that you can have a different life. The other thing, takeaway, impact over income. Lead with value. Make an impact on somebody's life. Add value to somebody's life. Income will follow. Revenue will come. Don't lead with trying to just sell something for revenue. Sell something to change someone's life. You're selling them on why they need it. You're selling them on how it's going to better their life. You're not trying to convince them of why they should pay you money. You're trying to convince them and do them justice by letting them know their life will be improved if they purchase this service or product. We've got it. We've had it all wrong. We sell in the wrong manner. That's why so many people struggle. And that's why sales has such a bad rep, because people think I'm selling to receive money. It's all me, 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 me. But as soon as you turn the mentality around and you say, I've got this car and they need this car because this car is going to get them to work tomorrow so that they can make their paycheck. This car is going to get them to church. This car is going to get them to their family, back to their family at home after work. This car is going to get them to the gym. It's going to get them to their vacation. They need this car because it's going to better their life. And I just need to tell them why this car is going to better their life. You don't have to sell anything at that point. You're just helping someone. You're not even selling. You're helping better someone else's life. Isn't that a spin on sales? Now, they're going to pay you for the car because they realize this is adding value to my life. My life is better because of this. Impact over income. Give. Make sure you give. So give selflessly. There's a power in it, and I don't even know how to describe it, so that's why you just have to try it. And just watch how you feel. Watch how it changes someone else's life. Maybe you pick the tab up at a restaurant somewhere. Maybe you buy somebody's tank of gas that's sitting beside you at the tank. Maybe you give a gift to someone and it's not even their birthday or Christmas. Maybe you acknowledge someone and their efforts, even though it was required of them for their job. You just acknowledge them. Who cares if it was required? People like to be acknowledged. Man, this is just fundamental being a good human stuff, y'all. These people that are in there buying and living the lives and have the yachts and giving to charities in a big way, they took action. And that's what I'm trying to tell you to do. Take the action today. Stop procrastinating and just take a step. Who cares if you fail? You still have energy to keep taking steps after you fall. You get up and you keep walking again. The only failure is the one that lays down and doesn't get back up. Everybody experiences it. Everybody has had failure. If anybody is anywhere, they have had failures, but they got back up. And the ones that have gone far are the ones that said, I'm going to do it in a big way. If I'm going to fall, I'm going to fall in a freaking big way. So let's get over here and start sprinting and making these massive hurdle jumps so that we can get there quicker. Because I'm either going to slap my face to the concrete or I'm going to get to where I'm trying to go at the finish line. These are the attitudes you got to have. When you're waking up in the morning and you don't feel like doing it, it's a non-negotiable because your life is depending upon it. Your life is depending on you to take the action every single day. That's what the achievers do. They tell themselves as soon as they wake up, I don't care how you feel, body. This is what we're going to do because this is our destiny. This is a part of our birthright. This is what we were made to do. We were made to achieve this. We were made to have this abundance. We were made to be able to help these people around us. People are depending on me to take the action today so that I will be there in the future and be able to help those that I've been put in a position where they needed help. Because we've all received help along our way. We've all received help. I've had so many mentors in my life that don't even know my name just because they took the action to put content out on YouTube and share their story and their inspiration and their motivation. Guys, life's not hard, but it does require action. And not every day are you going to want to put the work in. But if you just show up and put some effort forth, those days compound on each other. And you're going to find yourself a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to say, damn, I'm so glad that I started putting the action back then because I could have never have imagined I would even be in this position right now. I stood in that room and I could see myself next year raising my hand and bidding on those paintings so that I could give to charity. It was impressive. These guys had smiles on their face. They weren't frowning. They were so full of life, knowing that they were making an impact. There's so much available in the world, and we make so many excuses of why we don't have it. Change that today. Stop making the excuses. Get yourself around people that have deep pockets. Get yourself around people that are growing and doing big things. Get yourself around people that are wrapped up in charity and making big impacts on other people's lives, because you're going to learn from them and you're going to be able to mimic what they're doing, and you're going to be able to have just as much success. And after a while, after mimicking for a while, you're going to find your authenticity, your genuine is going to come out, and you'll be able to make a whole new path and be a whole new trailblazer. I want you guys to live in success. I hope that you take action today. You don't have to know it all. You just got to start moving, because you're going to end up somewhere, and somewhere is better than you are right now. If you got the time and you enjoyed this, then please hop on and subscribe, download, leave me a 5-star review, and say why you think it was a 5-star review needed. Hop on Facebook and go to the Facebook group, Bigger Vision Facebook group, free community. We're knocking on the door of 1,000 members. We talk about mindset, business, and investing. We talk about just building your wealth, because if you have wealth, then you can change your legacy. You can leave a legacy. Let's grow together, guys. Let's grow together.
This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.